Alright, here's a Classics Illustrated of Three Musketeers, and it just belonged to my dad. Yeah, when I saw I had Classics Illustrated #1, I freaked out. Oh my god, it's gonna be worth a lot of money. And I find out later it's a reprint. Oh man. It's still a cool comic. I like these old Classics Illustrateds. They do a good job of storytelling. Even on the cover, there's your cast of characters. We've got 4 of them, even though it's the Three Musketeers. And I know why. That pose isn't maybe the best in the world. Bad haircut. Was that really a thing? I mean, did they really have that Disney bowl cut back in the 1600s France? And I should have known right away this was a reprint, because on the back, now giant volumes of selected classics. Wait a minute. How could this be #1? They already have a list of they have the bulk edition. Where is it? Each giant volume contains 4 or more. See, that's like Marvel Masterworks. Graphic novels before graphic novels. 50 cents each giant volume, if they're out of stock. And then you gotta wait 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. But it actually worked. I ordered some stuff when I was a kid. Now, not this old. I'm talking about in the 70s. This was probably in the 50s. All right, I gotta be careful. Please don't flip out on me. Please don't get upset. Now you're gonna notice when I turn the page, it's loose at one staple. It's an old comic, all right? I do this with coverless a lot, but this is what it looks like. Okay, so you've got look at that. Okay, that's all right. Now the drawings are kind of crude by today's standards, but I think they do a pretty good job of telling the story. Look at that, not a lot of word balloons, so you can almost tell what's going on just from looking at the pictures, and then the word balloons and the exposition is just done as a supplement to the pictures. I see a lot of modern graphic novels where the art might look more realistic than this, but there's so many word balloons that you can't tell what's going on. This is a little wordy right here, but not really. Anyways, my dad had a collection of these. I used to love reading that. I didn't have to sneak, but I'd read these on summer afternoons when there was nothing else to do. And my dad wasn't the easiest guy to live with. He had some issues, but these bring back some fond memories. Now, I remember when I was a kid, back in the 70s, early 70s, they did those, I don't even know if they're available anymore, that Three Musketeers movie with Michael York as D'Artagnan, and Oliver Reed, I think, is Athos, and Raquel Welch as Constance. I think there are 2 of them. There was the Three Musketeers, and then right after is the Four Musketeers. I think they filmed them together and then released them as 2 separate movies, because they didn't think audiences would sit for 3.5 hours. They're tough to find, though. I tried to find them recently. All right, now let's see what's going on here. See it? Now this issue does have a lot more word balloons than I remembered, but when I was a kid, I remember reading. I'm even between this and the movie that I saw when I was a kid, it inspired me to read the book. And the book's not the easiest reading. It's a lot easier than a lot of classics. I don't know, Peepin' Tom. Okay, that's. Well, you should be doing that, D'Artagnan. Anyways, this is actually pretty long. Oops, seen my hand a couple times. I'm not going to go like story by story, or page by page, but I'm just giving you an idea what some of these old comics look like. It's one of the reasons why I love reading these old comics. Maybe I'm a little sentimental about it, but I actually think they're more readable than a lot of today's stuff. People can argue, what is the deal with that hair, though? I mean, she looks all right, but she's still got that. But yeah, I don't know. Was that really a thing? It's gonna bother me. There's an action panel. Now we also had they redid this a few years later, but it had a lot fewer pages, and it wasn't as easy to follow. Now this you can go step by step and almost know. I mean, it didn't really leave out a lot, from what I remember. And it would take a long time to read. I mean, whoa, that's kind of risque. See a shoulder. I remember that scene in the movie too. And then, I mean, they don't do like panel by panel sword fights, but at least you get enough action in there to make it worth being a comic book. There's some classics where there's not really a lot of action, and so you don't. It's like, what's the point of making just people standing around? Okay, now there is, that looks really, really bad, but if you understand the context of it, you can understand why he's doing that. But in today's society, we would just see that panel and D'Artagnan would be in a lot of trouble. You gotta know what she did first. We don't justify violence towards women or threatening behavior, but you gotta understand what happened first. Anyways, see? Some nice, yeah. Oh man, D'Artagnan, he's cleaning house right there. All right. Anyways, I don't want to go too far. What is? Oh, okay. I thought she was Two-Faced for a second. It looked like she. Nah. Okay. But yeah, kind of violent, but so is the book. What I maybe should have done is got another more recent classic and compare the two. But I'm not really into criticizing new comics. I don't like them as much. I'm just glorifying the old stuff. Woo! So I think this stuff is great. And then you get to the end. And oh, spoilers, man, spoilers. And I like this. And if you want to read about the author. And then, yeah, what's this? Read the best in the world's finest juvenile publication. Juvenile makes it sound bad. Now we call it YA publication, young adult. And then C, and here's how I know these are reprints. Ah, man, that just, I was gonna have to get a job. I actually have to work for a living. I can't just sell the comics. Don't sell your comics. Okay, I kept these. I did sell most of my comic collection just to pay off some bad debt. Some of that debt probably happened because of my comic collecting. And so then I used it to pay off debt. Alright, here we go. Anyways, I hope you like this video. If so, I'm making more of these. If you're like me and you like to see old comic books, and these aren't really that expensive. You can get these pretty cheap. And so if you're looking for old comics that are fun to read and they're not going to put you in debt, then subscribe to my channel. And I also have a blog called Dysfunctional Literacy, but I don't talk about comics on my blog. And I also have a few books on Amazon. One of them is called Crap Is Not a Bad Word. And I can say it out loud because I really believe crap is not a bad word. But the book's about a lot of other stuff too. And I think that's it. I always have a tough time in these videos. So thanks for watching. And I hope you watch more videos. Alright, that's it. I'm done. Bye.